Does every cloud have a silver lining? Come and join me and let's talk about it. Hi, it's Christine. Welcome to the Happy Stuff and Fluff channel, a channel for females over 50 who are getting happy and growing younger. So today I'm going to be talking about me, telling you my story. If you've heard my story before, you might want to skip this video. I don't mind you doing that at all. And for the rest of you, I promise you I'm not going to bore you with the whole of my life story. What I do want to do is to just tell you the relevant parts, I guess, to give you an understanding of why I'm interested in happiness at all, especially why I'm interested in your happiness. So I'm going to jump into the story with me at the age of 34. By that time I was married with 3 gorgeous children. We had 2 boys and a girl, and Mr. Kitchen and I worked together. We ran a very successful furniture manufacturing company. We were very driven and goal-oriented, and we worked long and hard. But you know, the rewards were good. We had a lovely home, drove nice cars, took nice holidays. We even had nannies to help with the children. I guess at that time you could say we were on top of the world. However, 3 years later, by the time I was 37, that world crumbled beneath our feet because my mum, my younger sister, and our 7-year-old daughter had all been diagnosed with cancer. They were different cancers and totally unrelated. So mum had lung cancer, my sister had Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is cancer of the lymphatic system, and our daughter had an osteosarcoma, which is a bone tumour that she had in her left arm. It was our daughter's condition that perplexed the medical profession the most, if you will. And after many, many horrible meetings, as you can imagine, it came about that the only treatment offered to us, and one which they said would hopefully prolong her life, was to amputate her arm. And that's what they did. They amputated her arm just below shoulder level. But even then, they gave her only 12 months to live. So you can imagine the state we were in. We lived under this sort of Damocles, never knowing from one minute to the next what was going to happen or to whom. And it was absolute hell, basically. We christened that time of our lives the Twilight Zone, life, but not as we knew it. And we still call it that today when we talk about it today, the Twilight Zone. That's what it means to us. The next 12 months, really, we allowed ourselves to get sucked into this downward spiral of negativity until 12 months later, although we were blessed to still have our daughter, we'd lost everything else. So we lost the business, we lost the cars, the holidays, the nannies, though thankfully we didn't lose our home. But what we did do was reach rock bottom. And it was only then, that when we got that far, that we realised we were going to have to change our attitudes. I'd always been a student, as long as I can remember, of the human condition and personal development, and both Mr. Kitchen and I had read Viktor Frankl's book, Man's Search for Meaning. If you haven't read it, I can recommend it. But something he said in that book resonated with me then, and it still does today. One of the things he said is that everything can be taken away from a person but one thing, that last of human freedoms, to choose one's own attitude to any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. We had 3 young children to take care of and the rest of our family. We needed to change our attitudes. And the Conroy women, which is what they became collectively known, my mum, my sister and my daughter, they were dealing with their situations with such bravery and grace. We thought that surely the very least that we can do is try to do the same. And really, the Conroy women became our teachers. And we would talk about how we were going to get through this time, what we were going to do, and how we should deal with it as a family and as individuals and so on. And my mum encouraged me to write some of these ideas down. And later, my sister encouraged me to write the book, which became Stitch Your Own Silver Linings. But these were ideas that your mum or grandparents have probably said to you, like my mum did to me, things like count your blessings, which science is now showing us actually works. They weren't just, old wives' sayings. They're now being proven to work. And some of them have become the positive psychology exercises that we're doing today. So that's what happened. We started to live our lives differently and approach our circumstances differently to the way we had done before. Living more mindfully, but of course we didn't know it was called mindfulness then. We were just living, forced to live really, if we were going to survive on a day-to-day basis, and that's what we did. So that was what brought us to our knees, if you like, and then slowly we started to climb back up. You don't bounce back from these things. Bouncing back is a saying I try not to use. You edge back slowly, step by step, with the help of all the people around you, and that's what happened to us. Now, obviously, in a video this short, I'm kind of skipping through the details. Unfortunately, my mum lost her life to cancer at the age of 72. My lovely sister died at the age of 46. And, we'd been trying to get the book published before she died. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. But she did get to see, she helped me with some of the ideas and how to put it together, because she really wanted to help people suffering like she was suffering too. And she saw some of the early drafts, so at least she got to see that. But as I say, she died at the age of 46. Now, our daughter, who was given 12 months to live at the age of 7, this year turns 30. That's 30. So they were wrong. She's 30 years old and full of life, and healthy and happy, building a life of her own. So as I say, they were wrong. And that was that's the happy ending to that little story. In terms of stitching your own silver linings, that saying, this is obviously where the title of the book came, every cloud has a silver lining. And no, it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't, at least not at the time. People say, oh, there is a gift, it brings a gift. And I think, yes, bad times can bring a gift, but only of your making. This is something you have to choose to do, and something we chose to do. Losing my sister at the age of 46 was, I can't tell you. There was no upside to that at that time. Although I did realise, because she was ill, we used to have such soulful conversations that we would never have had, because there would have been no need to have, had she not been ill. And those conversations brought us so close together, that turned into a silver lining of that particular situation. I wouldn't have had that lovely relationship with her. I would have sacrificed it, obviously. The fact is, what happened, and something positive came out of that, and that was this lovely relationship that we managed to have. Mum, we had a difficult relationship as I was growing up, and she had cancer, which was horrible, but it did give us time to heal the wounds, if you like, that we'd caused each other during our lifetime. That became a silver lining to that story. Personally, I think it's the only way to get through these such drastic issues. It means we can help people now. We can, through the book, I'm no Shakespeare. I don't even consider myself to be an author. I write. But I know this book has helped people because they've told me, and just when the first person told me that reading something in the book helped her, that's when I knew my book was successful. Just that one, and many more have told me since then. That's another silver lining that we made out of that horrible situation. So when I say stitch your own silver linings, that's what I mean. Look at a situation that might have happened to you and think, what can you draw out of it? What can you learn from it? And how can you make a silver lining out of it? So this is going to go on far too long because I'm only halfway through the story as to what got me here. But I'll leave it here on that note, on the note that when people say every cloud has a silver lining, sometimes it doesn't, but sometimes you can make one. You can make one. And it was all of those things, making the silver linings, that really helped me get through in one piece from my mum, my sister, and our daughter. So that's what got me interested in happiness, because although I've been interested in positive psychology for a long, long time, and my passion about your happiness and mine comes from the fact that, you know, life really is too short to live it any other way than being fulfilled and flourishing and therefore happy. So anything I can do to help you achieve that as quickly as possible, or at least get on the way to achieving fulfillment and flourishing and happiness, then hey, another silver lining. Please ask me questions, because I don't know how much to tell you about this, how much detail or information you might want. I'll answer anything. I don't mind what you ask. Ask questions, I will answer them. And let's move forward. And remember that on the Happy Stuff and Fluff channel, we are getting happier and growing younger, because it's the only way to go. Thank you so much for listening, especially to this video. I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.